Yes, students, tell me what were we doing in the previous class? Like, what is the last thing that you people have written? Plantations. Okay. Okay, Furqan, Arhan, and Anam. Switch on your video.
Ma'am, my camera is broken right now, so I can't.
How does the camera get broken? Hmm?
Ma'am, actually, I do my classes on my computer, and my computer is not functioning well.
Okay. Anam, what about you? Hmm? Switch on your videos. Come on. Quickly. Anam, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, I will switch on my video in some minutes.
Okay, okay. Furqan, what about you?
And
You're
just a
just
minute.
okay. All right, students. So what I like what the topic that we discussed in the previous class, do you people have any doubts in that? The different types of plant tissues, do you have any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Also, how was
No.
your test? The test. I was checking your paper today. Bharti, your handwriting is beautiful. I love your handwriting. It's very, your paper was so neat and tidy. It looked like as if it was printed. Very good. Very nice handwriting. Okay, so yeah, I wanted to discuss few things with you students. Just one sec. See students, when you see that any question is a 2 marks question, right? Like all the questions were 2 markers, right? So in the questions that carry 2 marks, it's not sufficient that you'll write just a single line. Okay, it's not like, and now you people are in a senior class, right? You are in class 9, so you cannot just start your answers just like that. You have to formulate your answer in a better way, as I keep on saying in all the classes, such as, like, for example, the question was, what are the components of the cell? Then you can write a full sentence as to the components of the cell are as follows, or something. You have to make a sentence, because if you just write words, then it won't have a good impact on the teacher or whoever is checking your paper. Okay.
Ma'am, I made a diagram on that question.
Which question?
Ma'am, the components are still.
You made a diagram also?
Yes, ma'am.
It we did make a diagram. Haven't received yours yet. Okay, I haven't received your paper yet. I have received Bharti's and I have received Furqan's.
Ma'am, you have checked mine.
I have checked yours. Also,
Yes,
maybe I
ma'am.
had received earlier. Okay. Now see, again, students, there was one question about mitosis and meiosis, right? So before telling the difference between mitosis and meiosis, first tell that both of them are the two types of cell division, right? Before you tell that mitosis is an equational or meiosis is a reductional, but before that you have to tell that both of them are cell division methods. Rest all of your answers were good. It's just that you also, yeah, Furkan, you had a problem in division of labor, right?
Yes, ma'am. I think so. I did
What
not
is
learn it was.
hmm?
I think so. I did not learn that question, ma'am, or I was
Yeah,
not there
yeah.
at that question when you were
Hmm.
teaching that.
Because no, it's there. It's there in the notes also. Students, you people know about division of labor, everyone? I have
Yes,
taught
ma'am.
in the class. See, I taught in the class and it's there in the notes. If you just look into your notes, the division of labor is mentioned in the notes also. Okay. And if you
Okay,
did not
okay.
understand, I'll explain it again. See, division of labor, why is it known as the division of labor is because what happens is when the cells, they group together and form the tissues. Now this tissues, just imagine that multiple cells are present together. Now they form the tissues. Now they have, each of them have their own functions to perform. Sort of like everyone here has mentioned it, like they have their own jobs to do. So that is what division of labor is. Okay. And see, I've written here,
Okay.
division of labor is the group of cells responsible for performing different functions. And remember that it is found in only multicellular, not in unicellular organisms. Clear?
Okay.
Yes. Now switch on your video. Switch on your video. Furkan, am I audible? Switch on your video.
Yes, ma'am.
Yours is on now? Okay, good. Good. All right. Okay, so let us quickly revise what we discussed about the plant tissues. Now, the plant tissues, they have their property to divide a lot. And depending upon their ability for division, they are of two types. One is meristematic tissues and the other is permanent tissue. Now, the meristematic tissues, they divide throughout the life, whereas the permanent tissue, they divide up till a certain time and then they lose the ability to divide. Now, the meristematic tissue on the basis of their position are of three types: apical meristem, intercalary, and lateral meristem. Then the permanent tissue is of two types, that is simple permanent and complex permanent. Further, the simple permanent tissue is of three types, that is parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma, whereas the complex permanent tissues, they are of two types, that is xylem and phloem. Now, with you can say with respect to the position, there is the location of meristematic tissues. The apical will be present at the apex, meaning at the tip. The intercalary, as I told you, it will be present at the internodes, between the place between the two nodes. And then the lateral meristem will be present on the sideways position. And it is responsible for which type of growth, students? Do you remember?
Ma'am,
Lateral
thickness.
meristem. Very good. Who said that?
Ma'am, hard.
Correct. Lateral meristem helps the plant to grow this way. Apical meristem and intercalary meristem helps the plant to grow in the length, and lateral meristem helps the plant to grow in the breadth. Clear? Now, now today we're going to see more about the meristematic tissue particularly. Now, first of all, we'll write some of the characteristics of the meristematic tissues. Now see, meristematic tissues have this property, as I told you, that they can divide a lot, right? So they have this property of uncontrolled division. Now, apart from that, you must remember, since they are dividing a lot, so their cell walls, or you can say their cells, are very thin because they need more and more space to grow. So if the cell wall or the cell becomes thicker, so it will be bulkier also and it will not grow that much. So the cells of the meristematic tissue, they are extremely thin. And what will be them, like what will be the composition of them? So they will be made up of cellulose. Now, where are they present? So depending upon the location, we know the position as to apical, intercalary, and lateral. These are the positions. Now, what is the function? Now, these meristematic tissues, they divide actively, right? They keep on dividing and dividing, which helps the plant to grow in the length and to grow in the thickness. Clear? All right. So,
Yes.
so we'll write that the cells of the, yes, Arham. Is there something you want to ask?
No, I was just taking some.
Testing the thumbs up. Okay. are thin-walled and made up of cellulose. Always remember, if we are talking about plant cells, so 100% the cell wall will be made up of cellulose only. So the cells, they are thin-walled and made up of cellulose. Now, depending upon the position, you already know where they are present. And let us talk about the function or the characteristics. So you can say that the cells of the meristematic tissue, the cells of the meristematic tissue divide actively. They divide actively and and is responsible, and these tissues are responsible for the growth of the plant, for the growth of the plant in length and breadth. We'll say in length and thickness. Clear? These 2 points are clear to everyone? Any doubts? Okay. Now see, more about this, like see the the meristematic tissue, they have this property. Now see, once they start dividing, they keep on dividing and dividing. They do not stop. But then there are some cells of the meristematic tissue that after division, they change themselves or they get transformed, or you can say they change their function, they change their process and they become permanent tissues. But most of the cells of the meristematic tissues, they are like continuously dividing. They like their growth does not stop. Here, so people note this thing down first. See, Bharti, for the meristematic tissues, they have the least amount of vacuoles. The vacuoles may be present or they may not be present in them because see, since they are rapidly dividing, they do not need any storage like facility because they have nothing to store. They just have to divide and give rise to new cells so that the plant can grow in length or breadth. So they do not need any storage structure present in them. That is why they may contain vacuoles, but most of them do not contain vacuoles. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone's done? Okay. Now let us see some more points about it. See, apart from that, remember that these cells that are present in the meristematic tissue, they are in the active stage of cell division. Active, see, the cell division that is there, it has two stages. Like one is the active stage in which the cell will divide and give rise to daughter cells. But the other stage is inactive stage, meaning the cells that will not be dividing immediately, they undergo that particular stage. Getting my point? So that is why. So the cells of this tissue are in active stage of cell division. Now we'll also mention that particular line about their vacuoles. So they may or may not have vacuoles. They may or may not contain vacuoles. Why? As they are rapidly dividing. As they are rapidly dividing. So they keep on dividing. So they do not need any storage facility. So they may have a vacuole, they may not have the vacuole. Now their shapes vary. Or their shape varies. Now, what are the following shapes that you can find the meristematic tissues in? So the shapes that you can find them is spherical. They are spherical. Apart from that, you can also find them oval, polygonal, polygonal, or even rectangular. So these are the variety of shapes that these meristematic cells or the cells of the meristematic tissue can exist in. Clear? Any doubts up until now, students?
No.
All right. So now you people can note this also. And then we'll talk about the different types of meristematic tissue. Can everyone?
Ma'am.
All right, now we'll look and talk about the types of meristematic tissues. And the first one that we are going to discuss is the apical meristem. Now, for like each of the types of meristematic tissue, we are going to discuss their location and their function, two things, right? So first of all, the first thing that we'll discuss is the location. Now, where is it present? So they are present at the growing tips, or you can say they are present at the tips of the stem and the tips of the root. So these two are the prime locations. Apart from that, they are also present in the branches and in the, like basically at the tip portion. Okay, so tip of the stem, tip of the roots, they have the apical meristem. And talking about the function of apical meristem, so if it is present in the tip of the roots, so it helps in increasing the length of the root downwards. And if it is present at the tip of the shoot, then it helps in increasing the length of the stem in the upward position. So talking about the location, so we can write about the location as to it is located at the growing tips of the stem and the roots. Okay, so growing tips, stem and the roots, and even you can also mention some of the branches. So we'll write branches and axillary buds. Do you people know what axillary buds are, students? Anyone has any idea what axillary bud is? Anyone?
No.
See, if this is a stem, okay, and this is the flower over here. Now, whenever we draw a leaf, mostly we draw it like this, right? This part, the angle that the leaf, or the you can say the stem makes with the petiole. Petiole is the part that holds the leaf. So this part is the petiole. So this petiole and the stem, their angle is known as the axil. And the bud which is present at this point is known as the axillary bud. So the bud of the axil is the axillary bud. Clear? So it is present there also. Now talking about the function of the apical meristem. So it enables the root and stem to grow by increasing the length. Clear? The function and the position of the apical meristem is clear to everyone? Any doubts?
No.
Okay. You know, there are 7 of you in the class. 7 students are there in the class. And out of 7 students, only 3 students, now 4. Only 4. Oh, now, now you switched on your video, huh? So out of 7, apparently 4 students have just switched on their videos. So I hope that you change this thing from the next class students. Please switch on your videos. It's very irritating to keep asking you thousands of times. I do not like it. And once you've switched on, don't switch it off. Are you getting? To whom I'm saying this? Furkan, are you getting what I'm saying? Okay, now the next type of tissue that we'll talk about is intercalary meristem. Same thing here also, we'll talk about the location first. So who remembers the location of intercalary meristem? Where is it located?
Ma'am, at the base of the leaves.
At the base of the roots. No,
Ma'am,
it is
leaves.
located in between something.
Ma'am, leaves.
In between the nodes. It is located at the internode area. As I told you, nodes are the point from where the leaves arise. And this tissue or this meristem is present in between the two nodes. So that is the internode. So talking about the location. So located at the internodes or stem regions between. We can also, like, you can write internode, and that is also like the you can say exact and appropriate answer, that is like that the question will look for, or you can like describe internode and write it like stem regions between the places at which the leaves attach, Clear? It's the same thing. This whole entire line and internode, they are exactly the same thing. Clear? So it's better that you remember internode only. And you remember that internode is the position between two nodes. And what is node, students? Node.
The
What
base
is the
of the
function?
leaves.
Yeah. Say that node is the point from where the leaves arise. Okay. All right. Now talking about the function of the intercalary meristem. So here cells are active and they divide continuously, and they are also helpful in the increase of the length of the plant. Clear? So talking about the intercalary and apical meristem, they have similar functions to perform together. Whereas the lateral meristem, it is like a whole another, you can say, different kinds of function that it has to perform. So writing about the function of the intercalary meristem, the cells are active and they continuously form several new cells and increase the length of the plant. Now the last meristem is the lateral meristem. Now where is it present? Do you people remember?
Ma'am, at the bark.
Sideways.
Ma'am, beneath the bark.
Not at the bark, but it is present on the sides of the plant. Not exactly, you can't say bark, but it is present in normal plant stem also. It doesn't necessarily, like bark is found in trees, right? But this is found in the normal plants also, like not only in the trees. So talking about the location of the lateral meristem. So it is located laterally. Laterally position means that on the sides. What is the meaning of dorsal position, students? Dorsal. If I say this is my hand, which side will be the dorsal and which side will be the ventral side? Show me with your hand. Which is your dorsal side of the hand and which is your ventral side of the hand, according to you? This is what? Dorsal or ventral?
Ventral, the front.
Yeah, ventral is the front and the back side is known as the dorsal. Very good. Yes. So now the lateral meristem is located laterally, meaning on the sides, on the roots. It's present on the roots and even the the stem. Talking about the function. So the function of the lateral meristem, it is responsible for the plant or responsible for the growth of the plant, for the growth of the plant in terms of thickness, or you can also mention thickness as girth, or you can also mention girth as diameter. So the growth in all of these three parameters is the lateral meristem function, and it is responsible for increasing in the thickness. It has nothing to do with the length. It has something to do with the breadth. All of the three types of meristematic tissue, their locations and their functions are clear to you, students? Any doubts? Okay. Now you people can note down. You can switch off your videos because there's a lot of things to note down. You can switch off and you can write comfortably.
Ma'am.
Done, everyone?
Yes. I'm done. I'm done.
Done, everyone?
Yes,
Hmm?
ma'am.
Everyone's done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now do you people have any doubts anywhere?
No, ma'am.
No, no.
Sure? All right, let's do a quick
Yes.
revision of what we have discussed today. So we have talked about the characteristics of the meristematic tissue. Now we know that the meristematic tissues, they are capable of dividing a lot. So they have like the property of repeated cell division. Now the cells of the meristematic tissue, they are thin walled and they are made up of cellulose. Now maximum of the tissues of the plants, they will be made up of cellulose. Clear? Now, the cells of the meristematic tissues, they divide actively and they are responsible for the growth of the plant in terms of length and in terms of thickness, both of them. Okay. So like the meristematic tissue is responsible for the plant growing longer and it is also responsible for the plant growing thicker. The cells of this tissue are in active stage of cell division, meaning they keep on dividing and dividing. They may or may not contain vacuoles because they are rapidly dividing. Now their shape varies. Now they can be spherical in shape, they can be oval, polygonal, and even rectangular in shape. So their shape varies a lot. Now talking about the different types of meristematic tissue and their location and function. So the first one is apical meristem. Now, apical meristem tissue, these are the ones that are located at the tips of the stem, the tips of the roots, branches, and even at the axillary buds, meaning in all those areas of the plants that have continuous growing property. What is the function? So, it enables the root and the stem to grow by increasing their length. Then talking about the intercalary meristem, so they are located at the internode, because we know that internode is that position. It is a position between two nodes. So they are like located at the internodes of the stem regions between the places at which the leaves attach. Talking about their functions, so the cells are active and they continuously form several new cells and increase the length of the plant. So that is like the intercalary meristem are also responsible for increasing the plant's length or the height. Then coming on to the last type of meristematic tissue, that is the lateral meristem. Now these tissues, they are located laterally, meaning on the side areas of the plants, of the roots and the stem both. What is the function? So it is responsible for the growth of the plant in terms of thickness, girth, and diameter. Clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything that you people want to ask me related to the chapter?
No, ma'am.
Sure?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay, students. So we'll keep it till here only for today's class. And then in the next class, we'll start with the permanent tissues. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. But wait, I wanted to discuss a little bit about your question paper. See, students, what happens is that in the question paper, you people write down the answers, but I feel like some of you just write it for the sake of, like let's just write it and end it. Try to take your test over here as the test that, like, for example, these are the tests that will prepare you for your school test, right? For your official test. So take these tests very seriously. Okay, and this is sort of one way you are practicing the chapter, you're practicing the topics that are there in the chapter, so that whenever these kind of questions or any questions related to the chapter, if they will come in the exam, so you'll like solve it very easily, isn't it? So try to like see before the exam or before the test that is like happening here, try to revise the notes that have been given in the class and try to read the NCERT. All of you have your NCERT books, right?
Yes,
So read the NCERT and like try to make it a rule that as soon as I end the class. Now, do you people have another class after this? Or this is just the only class you have today?
I'm done. Yes, ma'am.
The only class for everyone? Oh, then it's even great. See, what you do is that after the class is over, for example, that I have taught to you today the meristematic tissue types, right? The characteristics about it and the types. So what you do as soon as the class gets over, take out your NCERT book, read only the part that I've taught today. Like for after every class, if you make this a habit, like you take it in writing, that no one will stop you from scoring full marks. That is my guarantee. If you like this, these are the little things that you can do during the class only, which will make you score amazingly good. And during the exam time, what happens? We try to we want all of the things to get inside the brain all at once, but the time is also less, isn't it? And the syllabus is more. So we tend to take stress, and then we do not write anything at all. Like we write, like even the things that we do know, we don't even write that. So the best strategy for it is that you slowly start preparing for your finals from now on only. You're getting my point? So it starts from today. As soon as you when I end the class, then what you are supposed to do, you take out your NCERT books, and with for example, the meristematic part, you read that. Okay, give it a good read. You close the book and then you can go play and do whatever you want to do. But don't immediately get up from your desk as the class gets over. Try to just read the paragraph. Even once is fine. Okay, and then you can do whatever you want. You getting my point, students? Shall we start this tradition from today? Reading the topic from the book. So this is a tradition we'll do. Okay? Clear? And whoever will do it, like, see, this is not for my benefit, right? This is for your benefit only. So whoever will abide by this we can see that in the performance. I've seen that. I've seen people who pay attention, and mostly for the students that actually switch on their videos in the class, they are performing so much better than those that do not. Because there is a proper connection between the teacher and the student in that way. There is a reason why I asked you. Okay. So this is to all of you. Those who have been doing good, keep it up. And those who have not been doing good, you can still do good because we have so much time left, isn't it? Is there anything you people want to ask? Like, not regarding